Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Kiger, and up here today with another PlayStation 2 collection video. Got quite a few games to go through today. I'm going to keep this intro nice and short. I've just got one pickup. I picked up yesterday, Roller Coaster Tycoon Adventures for the Switch. I've been looking for this game for a while, and I managed to finally pick it up yesterday from Argos for $24.99, brand new, which isn't bad. It's been out of stock everywhere for a while actually, and on the e-store, well, the Nintendo shop, it was like 40 quid, and I couldn't be asked to pay something nearly double the price when I know it's cheap. I won on some money on a scratch card, so I thought I'd treat myself to that game, and very happy to finally have it. I hear it's not as good as the original game, but still Roller Coaster Tycoon on the go is a good way to start. But without further ado, let's get into this. So, up first we have Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Yeah, it's, there's never really been a bad Lord of the Rings game. To be honest, most of the Lord of the Rings games are pretty good. This one's alright. It's not as good as The Return of the King, but still a pretty fun game, to say the least. Then we have the original Sniper Elite. Yeah, it all started on the PlayStation 2. Pretty good game, very challenging, like the other series, but still a pretty good game for its time, and yeah, it's a very challenging game. Then we have Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. Of course, the Splinter Cell series was more known on the Xbox. I've never really played Splinter Cell, but these games were the sort of epiphany, the pinnacle of stealth games, you know, Metal Gear Solid style games, and very beloved series. And we have Virtua Cop, a classic light gun shooter from the Sega. I think this was a Dreamcast game originally, but still classic shooter there. Then we have Beautiful Joe, originally on the GameCube. The PS2 version, you get Trish and Dante from Devil May Cry in this game. Originally meant to be a GameCube exclusive, but they did bring it out for the PlayStation 2. This is a really fun, like 2D beat 'em up style game, sort of like a run and gun beat 'em up with some like time slowing elements. Really fun series. Then we have Wild Wild Racing, another dirt buggy racing game. Plenty of them out there. Then we have the original Splinter Cell game, where it all began. Again, very good series for its time. Have to go and try these games out. I hear these games are really good. Of course, more known on the original Xbox. Then we have Toka Race Driver 2, another really underrated racing series. This game was really cool. It just had a bunch of different types of racing in it. I really enjoyed these ones growing up. I remember playing a Toka touring car on the PlayStation 1, but there were a bunch of these on the PlayStation 2. They're really good simulators if you're into that sort of thing. And then the original Toka Race Driver. Again, lots of different types of cars in here, and the graphics look fantastic for the PlayStation 2, and the third one as well. So yeah, over 70 licensed racing cars, different types of cars. So I do like these racing games where it's got multiple styles of racing and not just based on one. Then we have Sonic Heroes. I actually liked this game growing up. It's a pretty cool Sonic game. You have like 3 characters per team, each with like their own abilities. So like Sonic is speed, Tails is technique, and you know, Knuckles is attack or power. Each of them have their own like bonuses and things they can do. It's a really fun game, and yeah, kind of an underrated Sonic game. Then we have Spinks and the Cursed Mummy. This game was really good for its time. I heard a lot about this game back in the day. I never played it though. So like a action platformer. I hear this game has a game-breaking save file in the game. There's a save file that makes the game like almost break. Look it up online, but it's a really good game for its time. We have Superman Returns, based on the movie. Unfortunately, Superman didn't really get the Batman treatment, so most of the Superman games are pretty terrible. I hear this one's not as bad as like some of the other Superman games, like Superman 64, for example. The Operative. No One Lives Forever. This game was basically like a James Bond clone, but it's a really good one at that. Lots of like gadgets and things, but it's a really underrated game, and definitely one worth checking out if you're into like gadget agent style first person shooters. Spider-Man 3. Some people like this game. This game is known for its quick time events. When you if you fail the quick time event, it is hilarious. But yeah, this is based on the movie. I never actually watched Spider-Man 3, mind you. Then we have Tekken 5. Of course, Tekken is absolutely fantastic. What I loved about the Tekken games was just all of the like bonus mode you had, like you had like an adventure mode and all of this stuff. And all the like the bowling and the side scrolling mode. Really, Tekken was ahead of its game back in the day, offering lots of extras and things. And we have King of Fighters Maximum Impact, the only KOF game I have for the PlayStation 2. There are a few King of Fighters games out there. Of course, originally Neo Geo classics on the arcade, but this is an exclusive for console, I believe. Then we have TG Daredevil, Top Gear Daredevil. Kind of looks like an older arcade game I used to play. Do you remember the one with the minis? The arcade game. I think it was the Italian Job arcade game. But still, another racing game there. SingStar R&B. Rhythm and Beats. We have Metal Gear Solid 3 Subsistence, like the Substance Metal Gear Solid 2. This is kind of like the Game of the Year edition. Has 3 discs. Again, each with their own bonuses and things, extra modes, VR missions, you know, all of these really cool things. This game had online back in the day as well. So if you wanted to play it online, this was the one you needed back in the day. And yeah, this was one of the more expensive PlayStation 2 games that I put out for, but I was very happy to finally get it when I did. Great Battles of Rome, the History Channel. Another real-time strategy game from the History Channel. You'd be surprised that the History Channel did have a few games. Spyro, Enter the Dragonfly. Spyro sort of suffered the same fate as Crash Bandicoot once it made its way to the PS2 era. Onwards, they sort of died out and experimented, and this one's more or less like the original Spyro game, so it's not as bad. But unfortunately, Spyro suffered like Crash Bandicoot, and it didn't have as many memorable games as it did on the PlayStation 1. But then they brought them back with the remastered collection. Another copy of SpongeBob the Flying Dutchman. I know one of them works, one of them don't. I think this is the one that don't work. Yep. The Simpsons Road Rage. Another Simpsons classic. This game is basically Crazy Taxi in the Simpsons universe. And it's a pretty fun game. I remember playing it on the Game Boy Advance more than the PlayStation. It's kind of crazy, right? Spyro, A Hero's Tale. Again, like I said, Spyro did like Crash Bandicoot, went into a bit of a weird tangent and tried to experiment, and unfortunately they didn't hold up as well as the originals did. Snowboard Racer 2. I think I've tried this game out and it's pretty terrible. What do you expect? Sky Odyssey. I believe this was a launch title for the PlayStation 2. A sort of flight simulator. Excuse me. Then we have Smuggler's Run 1 and 2. These were Rockstar games. They're basically like a escort game. You drive across the land, you capture things, and you have to take them back. Kind of an interesting game for its time. Some people like these games. I think they're alright games, but they don't hold up as well as other Rockstar classics. So Rockstar's never made a bad game, but these are sort of, in my opinion, a bit of the ones that don't hold up as well. Then we have the Red Star. It looks like a sort of twin stick shooter. Kind of looks interesting. I'll have to give this one a try. It's cross between Rage and Ikaruga, which Streets of Rage and Ikaruga. And Ikaruga is a very good shooter back in the day. The Simpsons skateboarding, a very terrible attempt at a skateboarding game, unfortunately. Stick to Tony Hawk. Smarties Meltdown. Yeah, it's crazy. Smarties and M&M's, chocolate themed video games. Why not? The Mummy Returns. Very bad game. Do not try it. Well, give it a try, but it's a terrible game. Really bad game. Just really bad. The Incredibles. Classic Disney Pixar movie. I still haven't watched the second one though. But yeah, this is a pretty good game back in the day. Pixar games were pretty good for their time. Terminator 3 Rise of the Machines. This is a first-person shooter, and it has like a 3D fighter mode when you go into the combat. I don't remember this game being bad, but I don't remember it being amazing. Tekken 4. Again, Tekken is a classic in its own right. The Sims 2. Used to love playing this game on the GameCube back in the day. This game is great because you had free control of your character, so it played like almost like a third-person game when you could properly control your character instead of just point and click. You did have the point and click mode available, but the ability to freely control your character was kind of cool. Transformers the game, based on the movie. It's an okay game for its time, but it's not amazing, but it was okay. Rumble Racing. Another racing game. I can't remember if this worked or not. I know some of these games, some of them don't work. The Incredibles Rise of the Underminer. I absolutely love this game growing up. Really good co-op game. One plays as Incredible, one plays as Frozone, and it's a really fun sort of beat 'em up game. Not amazing, but it was very fun. I used to love playing this game with my brother back in the day. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2003. Lego Football Mania. It's just called Football Mania, but it's a Lego game. Actually, a pretty fun little football game with Lego characters. It's not amazing, but it's a pretty interesting little fun game if you're looking for something light-hearted. Paradrome. I think I might have tried this game out. I don't know if I did or not. Kind of like a futuristic racer, kind of like Wipeout or something. The Da Vinci Code, based on the movie. I think it's like an action adventure game. The Hulk. Or just Hulk. Some of the Hulk games were pretty good, actually. I don't know which one this falls under. I think this was one of the not as good Hulk games, but still got another Marvel game there. Italian Job LA Heist. Had this game growing up. Never used to play much of it. Didn't get too far in it, but never actually watched either of the movies. But it's still another racing game. The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction. This is considered to be a really good Incredible Hulk game. Just over the top explosions and open world Hulk game. If you're going to play a game of the Incredible Hulk, this is the one to check out. I believe it's on the Xbox 360 as well. I could be wrong. Legend of Spyro: A New Beginning. I think this is kind of like a reimagining of the original game. I don't know, but yeah, Spyro. Soul Calibur 2, the game that had exclusive characters. The PlayStation 2 version had Hand of Arc from Tekken. The GameCube version had Link from The Legend of Zelda, and the Xbox version had Spawn from the Spawn universe. So it was kind of a interesting concept that each game had its own character. They did similar thing with 4. Of course, the fourth game had both Star Wars characters, Darth Vader for PS3 and Yoda for Xbox 360, and then I believe they released them both. Another copy of Star Wars Battlefront 2. The only reason I have 2 copies, I know one of them worked, one of them don't, I think, but this one also had this little 10 out of 10 P2 sticker on that my other one don't. Not that I really do that a lot with my games. I don't really care about all the variants, but for a game like Star Wars Battlefront 2, if I see a different variant for some games, I wouldn't mind buying it again. And this is an all-time classic of mine. Summoner, another THQ RPG. Stealth Force, The War on Terror, another sort of first-person military shooter. Then we have the very beloved Silent Hill 2, 2-disc special edition. Silent Hill was a very, very good game for its time, and this comes with some little bonus material, little manual in there, special manual there, and of course 2 discs, the making of a disc, and of course the game. Very, very good game for its time. Very, very scary. Often considered to be one of the scariest video games of all time for its time. Unfortunately, the when they did the HD remasters, they kind of ruined it because the audio was off. But one of the things that made the Silent Hill games so scary was the fog mechanics, and basically the fog mechanics were they were genius because the fog mechanics were there for obviously you know, the whole Silent Hill theme, but also to hide things popping in. So it's a really well done way of doing things, and unfortunately the remaster version kind of ruined that, unfortunately. Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Not based on the TV show. This is a standalone game. It's a mix between a flight sim, vehicle combat game, and some on-ground content. I don't remember it being too good. So, yeah, Star Wars has suffered some bad things. Smash Court Pro Tennis, Court Tennis Pro Tournament 2. Like I said, with the Annika Vorchenko Smash Court Tennis, which was really good, this one went for a more realistic view and, in my opinion, ruined the original game. Check out the original on PS1, it's much better. SingStar Legends. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Melee, a sort of arena battle fighter, kind of like a Power Stone or something. With Ninja Turtles. Never really watched Ninja Turtles growing up. Street Racing Syndicate, a Namco racing game, kind of like a Need for Speed kind of game there. Then we have the SOCOM series. SOCOM 1, 2, and 3, the US Navy SEALs. These games were considered to be some of the best tactical shooters on the PlayStation 2, and of course these games were also games that you had like a headset for, and you could talk to your friends and stuff like that. So it's kind of a piece of history there for online back in the day. Never really played online with PS2 though. Sledstorm, another sled game, kind of a pretty fun arcade racer there. SingStar Party. International Golf Pro, another golf game. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2006. Not saying much about the sports games. The Sum of All Fears. I never watched the movie. The game plays much like a Ghost Recon game, and to be honest, it's not that bad. It's one of the few tactical shooters that I have beaten, and it weren't too bad. Trivial Pursuit. Rampage Total Destruction. Really fun beat 'em up game, kind of like the original game. You just have to cause chaos and stuff, and it's a really light-hearted game and lots of fun to be had if you're into that sort of thing. Bit monotonous. The X-Files Resist or Serve. I hear this is a really good game, like a horror game almost. Never watched the show, mind you, but I do want to watch the show because it seems like an interesting one. Then we have the original Time Splitters. This plays a lot like GoldenEye, and it definitely shows. Kind of it's not as good as the other Time Splitters games, of course, but it's still where it all began, and it is a classic. Still hoping for that remaster collection. Top Gun Combat Zones. Never watched the movie. I have another copy of Wild Wild Racing here, but this is made by Explosive. The other one was made by Rage. So I think what happened is it's the same game, but I think what happened is a license expired or something, so they repackaged the game. They have done that a few times. The WWE games did that when they went over to 2K. Virtua Tennis 2, often considered to be one of the better tennis games out there, of course. Sega. Virtua Pro Football. Sega, one of those stranger to sports games, of course. Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution. Virtua Fighter is a pretty fun fighting series. Classic Sega game. Thunderhawk Operation Phoenix. Another flight helicopter action adventure action game. Fuck's sake. Then we have the Thrillville and Thrillville Off the Rails. These are really fun twist on roller coaster theme park simulators, but instead of it just being a like a point and click thing, it's a you have full control of your character. You go around, you can play all these party games, build rides. It's a really fun series. Check them out. Off the Rails is available on Xbox 360 if you want a more up-to-date version. Theme Park World, the sequel to Theme Park on the PlayStation 1. Virtua Fighter 4. The Bouncer, another Squaresoft game. It plays kind of like a arena fighter or a beat 'em up. I hear this game's pretty good. I've only tried out the multiplayer. Tom and Jerry War of the Whiskers. Excuse me. I believe this is another sort of beat 'em up style game, arena fight with Tom and Jerry. I love Tom and Jerry, so gotta have the games. Warhammer Fire Warrior. This game is basically you play as a Tau Fire Warrior, and it's a really good first-person shooter from the Warhammer universe. Not many Warhammer games anymore these days. Kind of sucks. Transformers, the Atari game. This game is considered to be one of the best Transformers games out there. Definitely check it out. Let me have This Is Football 2003 and 2004. Just some more Sony football games. These were Sony ones. Let me have The Sims Busting Out. Again, another classic. Used to love playing that. Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. This is a really good game. It's like a hack and slash game, but it has a really cool one-on-one fighting mode, which was really good actually for its time. Definitely check that one out. It's definitely worth something. The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Empire. I love the movie, but I hear the game's pretty terrible. Taito Legends 2 comes with a bunch of Taito games, and it even includes some exclusive ones, and of course lots of classics on there. The Sopranos, Road to Respect. Never watched the show. The Sims. I did start a playthrough of this years ago, and still have to go back and beat it one day. Narnia, The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. Very terrible game. Really bad game. Superman, Shadow of Apocalypse. Unfortunately, it's nowhere near as good as any other superhero games, unfortunately. Last few here. Silent Scope 2, Konami classic, a sniper game, like an on-rail shooter almost. Super Monkey Ball Adventure. Love the Monkey Ball games. Really good puzzle platformer games. Lots of fun to be had in them games. Super Dragon Ball Z. This is basically like Fighter Z. It's made by the same people who did Street Fighter. Telly Addicts with Noel Edmonds. SX Superstar. Another bike game. Tetris Worlds. Gotta have Tetris on everything. The Incredible Hulk, the official video game. This one's based on the movie. I hear this game's actually pretty good as well. I think this is the one that's on the original Xbox 360. The Fast and the Furious. Not based on any of the movies, just based on the universe. Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. This is the one that wasn't as good as the others. Sims 2 Pets. This one was only one player, which I was kind of pissed off about, that this game was only a one-player game. And then the last two, Taito Legends, the original. And last, we have a Steelbook limited edition of the Godfather game, which is kind of like a mafia-style game. So, there we have this part done for the PlayStation 2 collection. All my games are falling over everywhere. Sorry if it seemed like I rushed through a bit of this. I didn't want it to go over the mark. But we still got a few more to do. I want to try and get these last few videos done throughout the week. So then I can finally sort my PS2 games out into a proper genre and put them all together and stuff. But anyway, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like. And of course, comment below. Let me know what you've been up to recently, what you've been playing and stuff. And of course, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already and join the family. Check me out on Twitter and Instagram at the Mad Kiger and Mixer. I'll be streaming tonight. I'm going to be checking out the new Star Wars Battlefront 2 update, trying out the Age of Rebellion update with all of the new Rebels and Empire characters in the co-op mode and all of the new maps and things. So going to be having a lot of fun with that tonight, hopefully. So I hope to see you guys there. And as always, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care and bye-bye.